YouTube. What's going on with y'all, man? It's your boy Trey Mace. We back at it again with another one on Famous Mason Sports. Please make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm, man. We really appreciate it over here. Now, let's jump right into this, y'all. The second round of the college football playoffs quarterfinals. We had 3 games, and one of them was interesting. Just like the first round, this 12-team format has been ass. I'm not even going to lie. I kind of missed the 4-team format, but I kind of like that more teams get a chance to compete for the championship. So I guess I'll rock with it, man. Shit, do we have a choice? But the first game was Texas versus Arizona State. And I want to talk about Arizona State first. That boy Scatterboo is cold, man. That white boy run that rock, dog. Like, it's hard to get him on the ground, dog. He elusive. He make you miss. He run you over. When he said he was the best running back in the nation, dog, he just might be. I still would give it to Genty, if I'm being 100% honest. But I think Scatterboo is cold, dog. I think he's a monster. For them to do what they did against Texas and almost win that game, should have won that game. Like, they should have won that game for sure. They blew a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances to win that game. And I know Arizona State's head coach is sick, but he's young, man, and he got them boys playing good. Like, he got them boys firing on all cylinders. Whoever would have thought Arizona State could compete for anything, let alone a national championship. I know they lost in the first round. They had a first round bye. But, man, they played as hard as you could want. They gave Texas everything they could handle, and they should have won that game. Sam Levitt, he was cool. Arizona State, they don't really have the weapons that Texas have. They don't have, like, monster receivers or anything like that. But they do have a monster running back, and their defense has stepped up, man. To be Arizona State, they made stops, timely stops. I know some of that is on Quinn Ewers being ass, but Arizona State, man, they hung tough. They did their thing. I got to give credit where it's due. Shout out to Dillingham and his squad. Them boys was monsters, man, and they should have won that game, but, you know, things happen, man. What really lost them that game, I would say, is when Matthew Golden got behind them on that 4th and 17. I feel like if they got that stop, they would have won the game. They would have for sure won the game. It was overtime. But they just couldn't get it done. So I got to give credit to Texas. You know, Quinn Ewers, he was ass in the first half for sure. Garbage, terrible. Nah, I take that back. He wasn't garbage. They scored 24 points in the first half. I mean, he can't be that bad, but he hasn't been what they hoped he would be. He hasn't been that guy at Texas. And I think they're ready to move on from him. So whether he goes into the transfer portal or he goes into the draft, either way, I wish him the best. I don't think Texas is going to roll with him as their starting quarterback next year. They've had Arch Manning on the bench for a couple years now. I think they're ready to turn over the helm and see what he could do for this offense. Matthew Golden went crazy. That dog, hey, he's a dog, man. He really is. He's a great receiver. I feel like Texas defense has fallen off a cliff. I don't know what happened to them. They were stout at the beginning of the year, but it just seems like they've lost their aura. They're not stopping teams, and they can't run the football. Like, this is Texas. Why can't they run the ball? Do they need a running back or something over there? I thought Wisner was pretty good. Like, I don't understand, man. They cannot run the ball at all. And you're not going to go far if you can't run the football. I'm sorry. I don't care who's that quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So, Quinn Ewers, he got some work to do. You know, they're playing Ohio State coming up this week, and that's going to be a huge task. If you ask me, I think Ohio State going to win it all. So, I think Texas is really going to have to buckle down, dig deep, and find their defense, find their mojo again, because man, Arizona State was running circles on that defense, dog. Like, they really should have won that game. I kind of feel bad that they lost. But Texas, they're a good team. They're not a great team, like elite, but they're a pretty good team. Sark is a cool coach. I feel like if they get that defense figured out, they can maybe beat Ohio. Nah, it's not happening, man. I'm going with Ohio State all day. I don't think they beat Ohio State. If they do, that's gonna be the shock of the world, man, because they can't run the football. And Quinn Ewers, he's seeing the field somewhat, but he's not making the throws you want him to make. The guy is hesitant. He wants to throw underneath a lot, and when you have an explosive offense like that, when Sark is calling plays down the field for receivers to get down the field, you got to push the ball down the field, dog. Can't keep throwing to these little check downs and can't run the ball, and you're just stuck. It's like you're stuck in place, you know? So they jumped out 24-8 on Arizona State. Arizona State came back with a vengeance, dog. It came down all the way to the end, overtime, and Texas, they sealed the deal. Their defense finally got it done. But I got to give credit where it's due. Arizona State, they played a hell of a game. Texas, they pulled it out, but they didn't play their best game. And they're going to have to play the best team remaining in the college football playoff, and that's Ohio State. Speaking of Ohio State, man, belt to ass. Whoa, they whooped Oregon's ass. That was a crazy game, man. I was not expecting that. I was cheering for Ohio State because as a USC fan, I see a lot of Oregon fans trying to clown on us and do all this stuff, but they've never even won a national championship. So I didn't want to see that happen. And my God, it's not going to happen this year. I don't know what Dan Lanning had up his sleeve, man, but Ohio State, they seen the game plan, and they just conquered, man. They came, saw, conquered, dominated from start to finish, man. Will Howard, that guy is incredible. He's a great quarterback, honestly. Like, Kansas State, they weren't using him like they should have. His skill set, he's a pocket passer, it seems like. He likes to escape every now and then, you know. But for the most part, he's a pocket passer. At Kansas State, it's kind of like they were trying to use him as a wildcat quarterback or something like that. But this year, he looks completely different, man. Like, he's balling. He's seeing the field. He has receivers, so many receivers to throw the football to. And Jeremiah Smith is that guy. He's that guy. If y'all didn't think he wasn't, he's the best receiver in the nation, easily. He's better than Travis Hunter at receiver. I don't want to hear it. He's the best receiver in the nation. He's 18 years old. I know Ryan Williams cold too, 17-year-old from Alabama. I don't know if he's 18 yet, but Jeremiah Smith, he's that guy, man. I'm sorry. He beats everything. He beats man. He beats zone. He beats whatever you throw at him. He's going to win his matchup most of the time. So to have a luxury like that, and then to have a quarterback that's seeing the field like Will Howard, and he's putting the ball where it needs to go. Will Howard is a tall guy too. Is he 6'4" or something? Man, he's slanging that rock, dog. He got Ibuka in the slot. He got he handing the ball off to Travion Henderson and Quishon Judkins. Like, come on. That's the best 1-2 running back combo in the nation. Then you got a great offensive line that opens holes for them. They let them get outside anytime they want against any team. Even when they played Oregon earlier in the year and they lost by 1 point, they were running as much as they want. It's just like they have a great run game and they could stop the run. Oregon had negative 23 rushing yards against Ohio State. How are you going to win a game and you're negative in rushing yards? That's not going to happen, dog. Ohio State, they got a great defense over there. Secondary, lockdown. Caleb Downs leading them boys. Got them boys playing real good. I cannot deny it at all. Jack Sayer, he's a monster on the defensive end. He's going to be playing on Sundays. They got linebackers. They just a complete squad. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to beat them. I just got to keep it 100. It could happen. I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs. But if I had to put my money on it, I'm going with Ohio State to win it all, man. Them boys is just tough. I like Will Howard at quarterback. I like what the offensive line is doing. I like what the defensive line is doing. I like what the secondary is doing. They're just a great team, man. And you got a monster at receiver, the best receiver in the nation on your team. He's going to get open. And if Will Howard puts it on him like he has been, good luck stopping that team. Just straight up. And Oregon, y'all laid an egg, man. Y'all really did. To let this team go up 34-0 on you when you beat them already earlier in the regular season. I know the regular season don't count for nothing. The playoffs is what counts. But man, you guys have momentum. You guys were 13-0. You ain't lose one game this year. Dylan Gabriel was playing great. He's a Heisman candidate. Will Howard wasn't a Heisman candidate. And Will Howard's numbers look great. But Dylan Gabriel was the Heisman candidate. You guys lost Jordan James, in the first or second drive? Even with him, you're not getting any rushing yards against that defense, man. So you putting it all on Dylan Gabriel to go out there and just dice up this Ohio State secondary, and it's not going to happen, man. They got too many guys, too much speed. I know Oregon got speed on the outside as well, but they locked them boys up, man. They was in a box the whole game, dog. Like, I got to keep it 100. And when Oregon did score, I felt like it wasn't because Oregon finally started clicking. I felt like because Ohio State took their foot off the gas pedal and was like, you know what, we up 34-0. It's okay if they score once or twice. The score before half, that was close. They almost didn't get that. Then they came back after half and scored again. Oregon, I mean, they got a lot to work on. I feel like their defense isn't top tier. Even though they've played great throughout the year, it was a lot of close calls they had this year where they could have easily been 10-3 instead of 13-0. So Dylan Gabriel, he's out of there. Oregon, y'all gonna have to figure it out next year with a new quarterback. Hopefully y'all can get back into the college playoff. But man, Ohio State showed y'all it was levels to this, man. It's levels to this game, man. Oregon, they just wasn't ready, dog. They wasn't ready to play. Dylan Gabriel, he didn't play terrible, but he wasn't great either. No one on that Oregon team was great. So credit that to Ohio State for sure. They did their thing, man. So I got to give credit where it's due. Now let's get into this last game. Notre Dame versus Georgia. Man, I picked Georgia to win. I thought Georgia was going to come in there and physical and bully Notre Dame. But Notre Dame is a physical team, dog. And I'm a USC fan. I don't even care for Notre Dame. I don't give a damn about them. I hope they lose. You feel me? It's the same thing with Oregon. I didn't want Oregon to win or Notre Dame to win. But Notre Dame, they didn't take that same route Oregon took. They came in there, they conquered, dog. They wouldn't let Georgia get anything. They was sending exotic blitzes. They was Marcus Freeman out-coached Kirby Smart. And I don't know why people are so surprised by that, because Kirby Smart has had the best roster in college football for the past 5 years. So him winning those national championships, yeah, it was a great thing. Like, he did his thing. But when you have the best roster, I mean, when you have the best defense in the nation, and then you got an offense that can produce, that can run the ball with Travis Etienne, and they got pieces over there. But Notre Dame wasn't having it, man. They weren't having it at all. And I know they lost Carson Beck, but man, Carson Beck is ass. Like, let's keep it 100. Stockton is ass too. They offense just couldn't get going. Even when their defense got stops for them, they didn't do anything with it. They couldn't convert on fourth down. They couldn't convert on third down. They really couldn't do anything. And I got to give credit to Notre Dame, man. They have a great defense over there. Riley Leonard, he has to step up. There's no doubt about it. But he's game managing the game for Notre Dame. He's keeping them in the game. He's scoring points while the defense goes out and does what they do. The guy had 90 throwing yards. That's it. But they're not dependent on his arm. They got a great running back in Jeremiah Love. They're running the damn football. And they're stopping the run. And they're sending exotic blitzes. They have a great secondary, even though they're missing their best secondary player in Morrison. He didn't play in this game. But, man, I got to give credit to Notre Dame. I'm not a Notre Dame fan at all. I really can't stand them. But they came out and they played hard, dog. And Georgia, they're just not as good as people thought or we thought. Like, they're just not that team no more. They were a few years ago, But you see, they lost some games this year. They lost to Alabama. They lost a couple close ones. And then they ended up getting the first round bye because they won the SEC championship. But the SEC ain't what it's cracked up to be this year. You know, so I got to give credit to Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman coached a hell of a game. Had them boys ready to go. Offensive line was firing off of blocks. They was doing their thing against that great Georgia D-line. You know what I'm saying? They didn't win every battle, but they won some. And that's what counts, you know? If you could win a few battles, running back break off and get 50-yard run or 30-yard run, that's what you ask for. So Notre Dame, they did their stuff. Like Georgia just they're not going to be much better next year. They're probably going to get worse. They're probably going to be worse off. So that's just my opinion on the games. I feel like the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs have been terrible. Honestly, the only good game was that Arizona State-Texas game. The other two games weren't interesting, if you ask me. And this 12-team playoff, I don't know, man. I was all for it at first, but after seeing how it's playing out, I don't know. We might have to go back to 4 teams. Y'all got to let me know down in the comments what y'all think about the quarterfinals, what y'all think about the 3 games we seen. And I got to give prayers out to anybody affected by the unfortunate situation that happened in New Orleans. That was terrible to see that and hear that. And for them to postpone the game, I completely understand. And for any families that lost a family member or someone got hurt in your family, I sincerely apologize, man. I hope y'all bounce back, and my condolences to you guys, because that was an ugly scene. No one wants to see that. And I hope we could just get better as a society, man. No one wants to. That's crazy that things like that are still happening, man. We gotta do better. We gotta be better. But anyways, man, it's your boy Trey Mace. This is Famous Mason Sports. And we signing out, man. We appreciate y'all. Much love. Please make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm, man. We really appreciate it over here. And we out, man. Peace.